How's everybody's Wednesday going?
Good.
Huh? I got some he's, haws, plans.
It's going great.
It's going great?
Awesome.
Really?
Great. What's that? You did some deals today. Who did a deal at Exchangers?
I made an offer, but
Made an offer. Nobody said yes. Should I eat that? Oh well. Important things are making offers. So, who, with that in mind, who made an offer that wasn't at Exchangers this week? Made some offers? Made some offers? Anybody? Did you get an offer accepted? Evan's giving me the side eye. He knows. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. Thanks for bringing it up.
The neighbors.
So, Manny, come on up. Let's give Manny a round of applause. He doesn't know what for yet. Can we bump the mic up just a smidge, please?
You're a little poppy.
oh, and then
A
your
little
bug-
poppy.
Your bug has a tree on the other way. That was for me.
How about this one? All right, come on. Come on. This is what happens when you tell me something in confidence. I bring you up on stage and put a mic in front of you. All right, so Manny took my calculator class. When was that? A couple months ago? March? And he told me he went to buy a car a couple weeks ago, and apparently the class was really helpful for him. So if you could kind of retell that story. I'm not bringing the class. This isn't a pitch. I'm not even. The next class isn't even on the schedule. I just thought it was cool, so and how he was able to use some of that to put it to work. So go ahead.
Yeah, so my wife's car broke down, and we've been toying with the idea of buying another car for a while. So long story short, I finally honed out on the car that we wanted, the price that we wanted on the car, and I kind of knew the payment that I wanted to make. The payment that I was looking for was about $450. Just put that out there, and I had that in my mind. So based on calculator class, I kind of figured out, okay, this is what I'm looking to basically spend on this vehicle, right? So when I got there, I finally looked at the number. I'm like, okay, that car works for our budget, type of thing. So the numbers on the car were like $28,800 or something like that. That was the price of the car. It was a used car. And so
Used car was still 30 grand.
yeah, when we sit down to negotiate the terms, the level one guy comes in and he's like, okay, well here's the paperwork and everything, and payment is $750. I'm like, $750? I'm like, dude, that's a $28,000 car. How am I gonna pay you $750? And so I go, your math isn't mathing, man. So I bust out the financial calculator, right? And I'm like, look. That's the price of the car, these are the months, that's the interest rate going. I'm just ballparking the interest rate, I'm going higher, right? I go, so maximum my payment should be like $480. I go, but realistically, I'm looking at a payment of $450. That's what I've been looking for. So he's like, what is that? I'm like, it's the financial calculator, and I show it to him, right? And so he asked me like, what do I do? I'm like, I'm an IT nerd for a living. I go, but I do real estate on the side. I go, and I use this tool all the time. And so then he brings in the level two guy. The level two guy comes in. If you guys have ever bought a used car, you know what I'm talking about. The level two guy comes in, and he's throwing me his numbers, and I'm like, dude, like,
They haven't even gotten the finance guy yet.
yeah, that was the level three guy. Yeah. So then the level
the
two
boss?
guy's like, okay, well, like, I don't understand, like, if we drop it by $100, would that work? I go, no, dude, like there's like a bunch of charges that I go, we're missing some numbers here. I'm like, there's about a gap of $11,000 that you're upcharging me on something. I go, and I don't know where you're hiding those numbers. I go, but if you math this, it doesn't add up, right? So then the level three guy comes in and he's like, okay, this is the breakdown, right? So there was like, $5,000 upcharge for paint maintenance on it, like a $4,000 charge for like something else, but like all these stupid, crazy things that were not disclosed right off the bat, right? So I told the guy, I'm like, dude, I'm not paying for any of that. I go, I don't even need gap insurance. I go,
How much were they throwing on there?
it was almost like 11K over.
Damn.
Yeah, because when he told me that, I go, at that payment, I go, here, if I punch in the payment that you're asking for at these numbers, I go, the car that I should be buying is $42,000. I go, I came in for a car with 28.8. I go, so I don't understand. So finally, like, you know, level 3 guy comes in and shows me all the breakdown. I'm like, bro, this isn't gonna work, man. Like, I'm just gonna walk. And then he's like, well, hold on. So then he comes in. I go, dude, let's not. And this was late already. I'm like, let's just not waste each other's time. I go, I'm paying $450. If you can't match that, like, I'm just walking because that's the number that works. So long story short, hands up. I walked out of there with a payment of $458. All because of the calculator. So thank you, Andy. I've taken both of the classes, and yeah, it's amazing. So if you
It
haven't
doesn't
taken
just
the
apply to
calculator,
real estate.
yeah, take it. It's
stuff.
awesome.
Good
Thanks,
stuff.
man.
Cool. Thank you. Stay up here for a second. So since we're all here, Caitlin, Farrah, Carl, Angela, Evan, come up to the front, please.
What do we win? I will say while they're coming up there, the last time I pulled my financial calculator on my phone out in front of the car guy,
Andrew.
he said, "Oh God, you're another one of them."
So I gave the level 1 guy my business card. I told him about the real estate thing. The level 2 guy came in with my business card and my ID. So they talked about this behind closed doors. Like, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, come in, get him, squeeze in. Squeeze in.
I'm sucking in as much as I can.
Somebody's got a camera if you don't mind taking a picture.
I got you.
All right, so the reason we're all up here, we haven't all actually been here all at once. So I was like, oh, we're all here. So one of them, so Manny here, real quick, just give us the 30-second on why we're all standing up here initially, and then I'll go into some more detail.
All right, so another plug for another class. The Fire Fast. I took that class with Rich, Farrah, Jim, Evan, lots of people, lots of other people, lots of people in here. And, you know, they kept driving home like take action, take action, take action. So I did, and I went out and found this little place that had 7 mobile homes for sale. And we were able to close on that deal. I called Farrah. I'm like, I'm about to talk to some people. I need some guidance. And then we brought Rich in, and yeah, that's why we're all here right now. So
Yeah. So Manny originally found it. I called Farrah. They were able to close it, and then we partnered with. So then they came to me, and then I don't remember if she came to Carl or me first, but I think you guys went to Carl. Found the money. So Carl brought a lot of the money, and then I brought the crews. And then Evan and Angela lent us money, some gap funding, and what's that?
And your project.
Yeah, sorry, the cruise was me project managing it, and then Evan and Angela brought some gap funding, and then Angela's going to be reselling everything as well, and then what's that? And then Angela's going to be the listing agent on all of them as well. And then Caitlin and Andrew have obviously been part of it all too, doing a lot of the background help and ordering supplies and adminning and all kinds of stuff. So it really has been an absolute team effort. It's been 7 mobile homes in Paris. The purchase was like $500,000, somewhere around there, $200 and something thousand in rehab, and over $1 million in resale. So and we got 7 done in about 9 weeks. So it's been a fun project. So, but what I thought was cool is every single person that, like, every step of the way has been all through the club. So,
That was
yeah,
our original thing was we wanted to keep everything.
exactly. Yeah, that second. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I realized I need the mic. Or me and Manny, when we were talking about, we just wanted to, because we were in Fire Fast, we're like, want to keep it as much in the Fire Fast cohort as we could. So, Evan has helped so much and is like trying to pay it forward there. And then we're like, well, we need a crew that could like handle it. And then Rich is like, I have a crew. And I'm like, you want in? And just like it all fell together. But, it's just working with people in here and building those relationships, make them stronger.
And another really quick thing, like, you never know who's going to be able to help you out. Like, this started off as like we were taking a class, and I told Carl one day, I'm like, dude, like, I heard him do another deal with somebody, and I told him, save me some money, because I'm gonna need some money. from you. At the time, I had no idea like what was gonna happen or how much money I was gonna need. But I told him, I go, dude, we're gonna do a deal. Save some. You remember that? Like, save some money for me. Don't loan it all yet. And yeah, after Farrah, Carl was my second phone call, and we were able to make this deal happen. So.
Good stuff.
Yeah, just for you, Manny, how do you overcome the FEAR part?
Oh. So one of the biggest things for me was the fact of like, you know, where am I gonna find the money for this, right? And then throughout the class, like they kept saying like, don't worry about the money, find the deal, the money will find you. And that's kind of exactly what it did. Like I just set my mind to that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna believe it. I doubted at first, but I'm like, you know, what's the worst that can happen? Like, let me just keep going and keep harping on this. And, you know, one day I just kind of like stopped, and I'm just like kind of changed my mindset a bit. Well, not a bit, a lot. And went and took action and started approaching people about like, hey, you know, with better words than like, you know, when I started, I'm like, are you interested in selling your house? Which, yeah, it doesn't work out that good. So just kind of building a little bit of rapport and talking to people in different formats, like different ways. I mean, like, yeah, it helps out, but just kind of like going in there and taking action and putting your fear aside. But yeah, it helps.
Even me, like, I mean, you guys know me as like the mobile home queen and all this stuff, but when I made the offer of $500,000, I had no idea where that money was going to come from. So I made an offer without any money. So just putting that out there too.
Yep, absolutely.
We're just a little
500,
short.
only 500.
Or just 500 light, exactly. Just a little light.
short.
Yeah.
Here's 500 light, right?
Yeah.
Got a question?
No, I just wanted to add to, because I think I'm pretty sure it's the same deal, but Manny shared with me that he was about to walk away from that, because I think it was a gated community, right?
Oh yeah,
And he didn't have access to the gate, and he just, you know, instead of pulling away,
Yeah.
a car happened to come in, and he just went after a car.
Thanks, man.
And that decision is what led to the deal.
Yeah.
Go find that guy who drove that car.
Right? Exactly. Right?
All right, well, let's give all these guys a round of applause.
And thank all of you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Manny, one more time. Come here. No, I'm just kidding. Take it on the set. All right, so if you do have I'm going to do this pretty much every week. So if there's something that you're working on or you just got accepted, especially if it's with people in the club, I would really like to know about it. Okay, so let me know. We'll get you up here. We'll talk about it a little bit. It's not something to be afraid of. Trust me, being up here with this microphone and getting other people to know who you are is probably the best thing you can do for finding more deals. Okay? I had people fly out from Lenny. For those of you that knew Lenny that did the kids class, he was like, when he first stood on the stage and he kind of looked out of the audience with all the people, he's like, damn. He's like, I didn't expect that pulling up to this warehouse here, but then they walked inside and he was really impressed. So, like I said, if you can get up here, let me know. Just pull me aside, tell me something, and we'll get you up here. Okay? So, with that, we'll move on. I always forget to turn this thing on. Quick disclaimer: anything you hear or see in this here fire center is we are not experts. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. I am just an idiot with a calculator app that happened to figure out a way to punch in numbers and it gave me results. And then, so again, everything's our opinion. If you want legal or financial or whatever advice, make sure you seek out those people that do that professionally, okay? If you want to learn more about that kind of stuff, you can go to the website and go to the terms section. But if you do have a problem with any of that, also if you have a problem being on camera, you're supposed to be somewhere else, that your wife thinks you're not supposed to be, I don't know, any reason, you need to leave, okay? Okay, you will be on camera, you are being recorded, what?
Get your cool IEREIC sunglasses, and then you could be non-depressed.
There you go, there you go. We have anonymous sunglasses up front. So, also sponsors wise, if my sponsors could raise their hands, who's here tonight? No, I am. Evan here. Wave.
Hi.
All right, we have a few sponsors for the club. We could have a lot more. I get asked every single week by people that want to sponsor just out of the blue. We don't let people just walk in and throw money. I probably should. We maybe have some more colors on the wall if I did that, but we don't let people just throw money at us. They have to be members first. Okay, I've used the services of every single person up here. So if you need anything, if you need escrow services, design services, solar, security systems, financing, whatever, check them out first, give them a shot first. Okay, that's really all I can ask you. You can get more information by that. Just go to the website, click the sponsors button, or you can scan that logo. And as far as an announcement tonight, I've been trying to pick one thing to promote. Because sometimes I feel like I get up here and I just keep going and going and going, and there's like 18 things going on all at once. So I'm going to try and pick one thing from now on to tell you guys about. And tonight, it's the cruises. Okay, so there's 2 cruises that we're doing next year. We are going to Catalina and Ensenada on February 3rd to the 7th, and then we are going to Alaska on September 1st through 8th. So you got a lot of time before either one of those happen. Okay, so if you want to get a deposit in, I think for Catalina it's $250. For Alaska, it's $500 for the deposit, and that deposit is 100% fully refundable until about 2 months before we sail. Okay, so you can also make payments. You don't have to pay it all up front. Okay, so if you want to split it up, they'll do that for you. But it's going to be really cool for those you've never been on an investor cruise before. It's kind of a mix of fun and education. So we're going to have speakers multiple days on the cruise, okay? And then we'll all eat dinner together every single night for networking. And then there'll also be other stuff that happens on the cruise as well, okay? So if you want to get more information on any of those, you can go to the new website for it, firevoyager.com, and it'll have the links for all of that, okay? And it's not me tonight, so I'm not going to keep going to the next slide. Those of you who don't know Farrah, she's been around the club a long time. She does a lot of mobile homes, but she's talking to you about something else tonight. It's going to be, and I'll let her tell you about that. So let's give her a round of applause.
Yes, please. All right. So, for many of you that know me, normally I'm pretty loud, but tonight it's going to be a little hard for me, so bear with me. But good thing I have a microphone. And if anyone cannot hear me, just, everyone good though? How does it sound in the back? Everyone good, Jared? Okay, thank you. All right.
Can you step to the left or to the right, because he's that right in front.
He'll move. We're going to kick him out. And if you can't see me because I'm so short, there are a lot of seats in this front row. I mean, not like very front row, it's actually the 3rd row. So you guys can come up there. All right, thank you. So, is it on present?
I didn't see any button options.
Oh, okay, well, that's fine. So, a little bit about me. My name is Farrah, as Rich just mentioned, and my lovely name tag will show you. I didn't have any background in real estate investing at all. Oh my, is this? You guys can't hear me, right? Okay.
We hear you.
I don't. My ears are also plugged, so it doesn't help. But I didn't have any real estate experience at all. Andrew, my other half, is in the back. Can you wave so everyone knows who I torture every day? I love you. Anyway, we both met. We met at Costco, and I got injured at work, and I couldn't work anymore. And it was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I worked there right out of high school. I was there 17 years, and it was just, I don't have a college degree. What am I gonna do? So Andrew was like, hey, you gotta read this book. It's great. Ended up being, can anyone guess it? Yes, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So that book, I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could do this like for a living, you know? I actually had a condo in Colorado when I moved back to California in 2016. That's when I rented out my condo. And so when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I'm like, I'm already doing this. So I can actually do this for a living. This is interesting. And from there, we bought a house, and that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight, where we rent by the room. And then My very first meeting at the Mission Inn, I remember, is May of 2019. I met Andy, and he got in front of the room and said, "Hey, I have this class. You should take it. It's about mobile homes and blah, 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 something about yields." And I was like, "I'm down, $599. Back then it was a different price, but we'll just, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna take that. Took that in June, and I bought my first mobile home 3 weeks later. So since then, thank you. I'm like, yay, one person was impressed. Andy tells me, oh wow, my voice came out right there. Andy told me, you're slow. Someone bought one the next day. I was all proud of myself at 3 weeks. Anyway.
You were in the same class as Rodolfo.
No, Roddy wasn't in that one.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Miguel?
Nope.
Miguel was in mine. Where's Miguel? All of a sudden I don't see him.
Oh, I know who
He
it
was
was.
here.
It was Gina.
Yeah, Gina and Christina, and they bought like 6 in Barstow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I got started, and since then, I mean, as you heard, we just bought 7, and then I have another 8 of my own going. So it's a lot, but the one thing, thank you. But one thing that I did notice when I was doing it on my own, I was doing like 1 a quarter. When I teamed up with other people, that's when I could do 15. So it is big to team up. Like some people like, oh, I want it all for myself. There's plenty. Like I'm making way more with 15 and giving away, however much of the deal than I would doing 1 a quarter. And it's less stressful because other people are taking on the construction side, which I hate. Hence why Rich took that. So thank you. All right. So that's just about me. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about co-living. So does anyone know what co-living is? Have they heard that term before? Some people. Okay. Who's heard of house hacking? Okay, more people. So co-living is just a type of house hacking. So we have talked about house hacking before, where several people we came up and talked about the different ways we house hack. But I didn't really go into co-living. Co-living is its own little niche, and so that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. All right, so what is house hacking, right? So there's different types. So you can rent a room. So maybe you have a 5-bedroom house, and all your kids moved out, or use 4 of them, and you don't really need that 5th room. It's just storage, and it's just there. Well, you can make some extra money by renting that room out. Or what I did is I rent all of the rooms in my house to individuals. So they don't rent the house, they're just renting the room. You could also do an ADU or a junior ADU. Miss Sylvia over here, how many did you just do?
2.
So you just did 2 ADUs. So she has 4 units on 1 lot, right? So good job. I'm like, one day I'm gonna have a little interview with you one of these days, because I'm really curious how you did all that. And then the other way is you find like a duplex, a triplex, or a 4-plex, and you live in one, and you rent the other ones out, and you can get like regular financing, like a primary house. So you don't have to, anything over 4, I'm old Jared is like, I'd rather you say this, but because I don't have experience in financing. But anything over 4, then you're looking at a different type of loan product. So you could, and then all your rent income for those other units count towards like when you're buying the house, right? So they're qualifying the income from there plus your income, so you can purchase more. Anyone have questions so far? I'm pretty sure you don't, but oh yay! Thank you. Get my voice a break.
When you talked about using the renter's income, so they have to already be rented then when you're purchasing them?
I think they can do projected income. Yeah, he's nodding, yes.
Yeah, it's
So,
almost future rents.
They do
Yeah.
based off the
But it's like only like 70 or 75% or something like that, isn't it?
is it like 75% of the, yeah.
Yeah.
So that so it was $1,000 a month, they'll count $750 towards the income. Yeah, okay. All right. So, oh, yes, Adam.
When you do the shared living, how does the whole thing with like the bathroom obligations as far as cleanliness and kitchen and all that, how does all that work out?
So I do have a house cleaner that cleans the common area. I know other people put it on the tenants. With the shared bathrooms, I actually, when they sign up and it's a shared bathroom, I'm like, person A, person B, you guys are sharing this bathroom and you guys come up with a cleaning schedule. I just put it on them. Most people that live in that type of scenario, like, or situation, they've had roommates before and you know how to figure that out. So it's kind of like, I mean, I get those calls like, well, actually I've never had she doesn't clean the bathroom call, but it's like, they left dishes in the sink and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. You know, yeah, figure it out. I had roommates, I get it. Like, I know I'm your landlord, but it's, yeah, kind of, and I do have house rules and everything in my lease. So if I really needed to, I just reiterate, hey, in the lease, it says yada, yada, yada. So, and then they usually like fix it pretty quick. So, anything to add, Andrew, on that? Were you listening? He wasn't listening. He's in trouble. I'm kidding. I'm just like the calls that we get about any issues between tenants.
Flushing things down the toilet.
Oh, yeah. So I've had to say several times only number 1, number 2, or toilet paper. Because I've had issues.
Flushable.
Yeah, I actually specifically have that in my lease. So that way if it happens, then yeah, I'm charging. Okay, so I can't even see that far. So roommates, like how I started, I always had roommates. Like once I moved out, I didn't live by myself. It's too expensive. So I was used to living with other people. And then when I met Andrew, I was living with another girl in a 2-bedroom apartment. And, you know, she had her own bathroom, I had my own bathroom. So, and it worked out really well. So I have no problem like living with people. And then Andrew and I, when we started shopping for our own house, it was, I saw this house and I got like really, really excited because it was 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we can live in one, rent all the other ones out. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And then shortly after I saw it went pending and I was like, dang, like it's gone. Oh well, and keep looking. And then, I don't know, it was a couple weeks later, it was like back on the market. And this is 2019, so like, you know, 3.5% interest rate. The house was $360,000, so it was really nice. But and I was like, come on, let's just go look at it. So come to find out, the back unit was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, which we did not know. They didn't say it in the description at all that it was a separate unit. So I was like, we can live in that one. We don't have to share. He's like, fine. And that's what we did. But it wasn't to like how I would want to live. So we actually converted it to just a 1-bedroom, made a bigger kitchen, a bigger closet. I wanted a bigger closet. And then, so, I mean, technically it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit in the back. So it was a detached garage at one point, and the people, it's a non-conforming back unit, so it's not permitted yet, but I am working on that to get it permitted. So that's how I started. It was just like finding creative ways to like save a few bucks and like, you know, be able to start our life together, you know, and move on. And we lived there for 3 years, not paying anything. Our tenants in the front house paid for everything. I think in the beginning it was like a couple $100 utilities, but then when people moved out, I raised the rents, and then we didn't have to pay a thing for like 2 of those years. So it was actually very, very nice. So. All right, and then why did I decide to do this? Not obviously, but higher rent, because at the time, the Zillow rent, or like in the area, they were like, oh, you could rent this house for about $2,100, you know, max, and $1,900, because this is North San Bernardino off the 215 in University. So it's not, you know, Rancho Cucamonga or anything like that, but I was like, well, $2,000. That's our, our house payment is $2,000 plus utilities plus. So I wanted more. So then I realized, I could rent the rooms, and we actually got $2,800 by just renting the rooms, which that was a 25% increase just in doing that instead of to a family. And my longest tenant, he just recently moved out this year, so he was there almost 5 years. And everyone else has been there over a year. And these are room rentals. So, I mean, and I'll get to that in a second. But basically, it's not a high turnover like you would think. I thought it was going to be, and it's really not. And then affordable housing. I mean, so many people, they like singles. There's a lot of people that are just single. They aren't married. They don't have a spouse or partner, and they don't have kids. But like, how can you get a 1-bedroom apartment? I mean, what's the cheapest someone's seen a 1-bedroom apartment for? Like $1,700. Like the cheapest. I'm renting my rooms for $900. That's with utilities included. So I mean, that's almost half. So that's why I and I had roommates. So it was just a roommate situation. I'm like, I would do that to save some money. So that's another reason why I did that. And then also that housing shortage, right? There's not a lot of places to live in the first place. But a room, it's just a small little area that you could live in. Yeah. And then also the back unit being the additional unit that also provides more housing. So a lot of like Sylvia, she already had a lot with 2 houses on it, put 2 more ADUs on there. She didn't go and buy an empty lot. She just used what she had and provided more housing. So, all right. I'll get through this. So just to kind of show you like the numbers aspect of this, because someone at some point had told me like they wanted to know more about the numbers aspect of stuff. So I took that in consideration and added it. So the long-term rental, right now, these are current numbers for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. And I looked up Zestimate today.
Where at?
This is in San Bernardino, in my house off University in the 215. I don't even know who asked that question, but I heard it like over. Okay. Oh, it's that guy. I'm just kidding. Drew. Okay. So it would rent for $3,400 as it is right now, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. And then I'm like, realistically, like that sounds a little high to me, so I probably could do $3,200 because parking's like a little tight there, and then they wouldn't have the backyard because we have the unit in the back. So I was like, it'd probably be more like $3,200. And then renting by the room though, the private bedroom she has her own bathroom. Right now I'm charging utilities separately, but I'm converting to utilities included. So, but total she's paying about $1,050 a month. And then the extra rooms with the shared bathrooms, they would be paying $900 a month. That's with utilities. And then the detached garage, we're renting right now for $1,900 plus utilities. Give me 1 second, just so I can finish my thought, because I'll lose it. And that's kind of like the gist of that. So, and then I'll get to my next step. But Andy has a question.
Yeah, only $150 for a private bath?
Only 150. Well,
The difference between.
so yes, right now, because she's in my old lease, she is moving at the end of the year, at the end of the year. So I'll bump that up.
Okay.
Yeah. How much do you think I should rent it for?
Renting by the room is work, and you don't have an allergy to that.
Okay, that didn't answer my question, but thank you, Andy. Yes, Mary.
Do all the current California tenant laws apply to renting by room as well?
She asked if all of them.
I mean, I do follow them anyway. So, like, is there a specific one you're thinking of that is like a gray area?
Like if, for example, they don't want to pay you rent, do you issue them a 3-day notice? Or
Oh,
30-day
yeah,
notice?
I still evict. I have a lease. Yeah, I would still evict them.
Lease by room and all that
Mhm.
stuff, yeah?
Yeah. I thought you were going a different direction, but I don't know. Yeah. Yes, Angela.
Why are you converting to the utilities being included? Is it just too much work separating utilities?
It's a lot of time. It's time consuming. I mean,
You have a good idea?
I'm like, it's a lot of time. It takes me an hour.
No.
It takes me an hour, but then it's like, oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I can't do it today. Oh, I gotta get to. It's too much mind space. I just want to, and I'm still tracking it to where I know if the utilities are going up. So I will have like a, if it goes over that average, there will be an additional into the rent. So I'm still trying to figure out the verbiage on that. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'll figure it out. Somebody here, if they have an idea, please let me know.
Convenience fee.
Yeah. So this is just 4 bedrooms. So 4 bedrooms. Okay, I can't math right now. So that's $3,600. So that's not too much more than like the Zestimate, right? Or what it could rent it for. You're doing all that work for a couple $100 more. But I want to show you guys something. Okay? I'm going to show you this. Because this is what the house looks like right now. Okay, hopefully this is our dining room. It's actually a storage facility. And this is actually clean. But like normally there's like boxes and stuff. I mean, right, Andrew, that's clean.
That's clean.
I was trying to find the other videos I had, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, they're using this as storage. See, storage. TV's on the ground, right? And then usually there's stuff all on the floor there, and then there's stuff in the corner. That corner was full before, and that was after I said, hey, you guys got to take your stuff out of the common area. This is after they did that. So I just wanted to kind of give you a preview. So those areas, I will actually be converting them into bedrooms. So I actually had a friend of mine, she's a club member, and she came down to my house, and this is what she does. And she's not really a stage type person, so she always turns down my offer. But maybe one day I'll get her here. But she's like, she's like, look at this. And this is when it was bad and like full of just stuff. And she's like, this is just storage. And I'm like, I know. It's like annoying. I tell them to clean it. They don't. She's like, turn them into rooms. Rent them, make the money. So by renting out those 2 rooms, those will also have a shared bathroom. One of the other rooms has a private bath, but we're going to move the door to make it a shared bath. So let's see. I'm trying to do the count right now. So 2 rooms will share 1 bathroom, and then 3 rooms will share another bathroom. So and I'll probably assign it, or just they could use either one. I'm still figuring that part out because we haven't done the conversion yet. But that's an additional $1,800 a month. And if everyone already read this, I got a quote already just to do the work to add the rooms, move the door, move the window, yada yada. It's going to be $7,000, and we'll make that up in under 4 months.
Nice.
So, and then after that, it's just $1,800 a month extra. So, also, just a side note, at Exchangers a few weeks or maybe a month ago now, but I wanted to pull out some equity out of my house and use some of the money to do this, and also get the back unit permitted. And my payment is right around that amount. So I'm gonna get cash out on top of, sorry Andy, on top of paying off a loan that I already had existing. But that's what I'm doing there, and just by converting unused space. And I mean, it's used as storage, but I only probably could charge a couple $100 for storage. I can do $900 for a room. So, and oh man, that was really fast. I'm at the end already. I'm so sorry. Okay, but I do have someone I want to bring up on the stage real quick. Ricardo, can you join me? Yeah. Yeah. It's not a surprise. I told him earlier. He just didn't know when. It's okay. So earlier today, he put something. She'll adjust you right now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning.
So earlier today, I heard you during Exchangers. You put something up on the board, and you're like, "I'm doing what Farrah's doing." I was like, "What am I doing?" So what are you doing to your house?
Which part was it? Like the mobile home that I just got?
No, you're adding to your house, or
my
you're doing
house.
something.
My house is. I'm adding some additions. The main entrance had a big, like a family room, and then like a dining room, and then the balcony. I'm converting those three items into 2 rooms and 1 bathroom and a kitchen.
So how many extra rooms are you getting? 2 extra rooms and a studio?
I'm not sacrificing any rooms. My house is still 5 bedrooms.
Okay.
The main entrance living room is gonna be a 1 big master bedroom.
Okay.
And in the middle has like a little dining area.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be like a dining area. And I'm extending the bathroom, a full bathroom, a little bit to the outside.
Okay.
And then the kitchen, and then another bedroom in the back. So it's gonna be like a $900 square foot area.
Okay. And you're still going to live there and then rent these units out?
Yeah, I'm still gonna have my house for myself.
Right, so you're going to separate it, they have their own private entrance.
Correct.
And you won't have to even see them.
One question, do you charge extra for parking if they wanna park inside?
You can.
Okay, and they're gonna have their own backyard,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm projecting to get $2,700
Extra.
a month.
And additional, and just doing that.
Yes.
Nice. So.
But I wanna include the bills with it.
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier. The only thing is when they just like crank the AC and it's just on all the time, they're not home. So that's why I'm putting a cap on it. So.
Do you charge extra for a washer and dryer?
Yeah.
I do not, but I do. I don't know if a lot of you have heard of David Tilney, but he does a property management course, and in there he talks about that you store your appliances. So the only appliance by California law that you have to have in the home is a stove oven. And then heater, of course, and which is weird in California that we have to have heat, not AC. But I don't understand California anyway. So, I lost my train of thought. I'll think of it right now. Yes, thank you. So I did just recently buy a new set, but I did add an addendum to my lease that they are now responsible for the repair. So I got you a new set. Because the other one, I always get like used appliances. And that set is, if there's repairs, then they'll split it evenly amongst themselves. So that's what I do. I mean, you can get the coin operated one and make money on it if you want, and yada, yada, yada. But I just have it in my lease that the fridge, the washer dryer are stored there. And if anything happens to them, they can repair it themselves or I'll remove it for free. That's it.
All right, thank you.
Cool, thank you. $2,700 extra, and he doesn't have to see them. That's the best part. Rich, do you want to talk about any of your house hacking? No, you don't really. No? Do you want to talk about it?
Not like in a code sense. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a history.
Yeah.
I
You're leaving.
I do have one thought.
I guess you could learn from a mistake I made when I was younger that I really didn't realize how stupid I was until later. When I was in college, I had a great job. I had great credit. if I would have joined a RIA like this instead of joining a motorcycle club, my life might have been a little bit different than it is right now. I would have definitely had way less fun. That motorcycle was a game changer as far as fun. But anyways, I lived in a few houses that it was always me that had the rent, or the lease. The lease was always in my name. It was always all my furniture, all my dishes and everything else. I mean, it was my house. And like a great friend that I was, apparently, I would just let everybody live in my house and we just split all the bills. And for me, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, lowers my bills. I'd never thought that I could have easily charged $1,000 a room, lived there for free, and cash flowed off of it. It took me another 15 years to figure that one out before I finally bought a house and then did all that and lived there for free and cash flowed. So for those of you, if you're renting a house or whatever, like, learn from that. Don't be a nice guy. Be a good investor. So that's all I got.
I did think of something else I wanted to share with you guys. So I can't remember who it was earlier. They were telling me about someone that bought a 5-bedroom house in Texas, and they're converting it to a 10-bedroom house. So when you're looking at properties, this is the reason why I'm sharing this with you in the first place. Is people always like, how can I cash flow in California, right? It's like, how can you do that? You could do what Sylvia did, build a couple ADUs, cash flow that way. You could do what Ricardo did, and you just live at home, and you carve out some space in your house and rent those out, or you find unused areas that people are just storing their crap and making those rooms and then doing that. So when I look at properties or I'm walking a house, there's an open house, I'm walking, I'm like, okay, I could put a room. I mean, Andrew's been with me a couple times. I'm like, okay, so there's 4 bedrooms. I could put a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, an 8th, okay, times this amount for the room rentals. And the way I find out like room rentals is go to Facebook Marketplace, type in room for rent. I mean, the cheapest ones I market research, right? I'm looking. So they're like $900 to like $1,100, even up to like more. I mean, depending on the area, of course, too. So it's just finding out really easily that way. You could look on roommates.com and see what people can afford. That's usually how I find people, is on roommates.com, because they already have the mindset, I'm going to be a roommate. So I'm looking for people that know they're going to be a roommate. They're not sharing a room in a house with a family, because when I was looking for a room to rent before I rented an apartment with my friend, I would go look and they're like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. And I'm like, what's the point of like living here then? Like, if I feel like a prisoner, I don't want to feel like that. So, it's just, I wanted, and all of our tenants are happy. Now, they aren't that happy that I am taking away the living room. They're not happy about that. Oh, sorry, I thought I heard someone say something.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Put a shed in the backyard for $2,000 and then let.
We do have a shed back there.
And then you're done.
I didn't even think about that. You do have a shed. Yeah.
If they need, and they
I
can
mean,
pay
if it
for
was
that.
just storage, there might even be enough charge to be like, hey, I got a couple of sheds in
Yes.
the back for your stuff.
See, I just made an extra few $100 right now, tonight. Thank you all for paying for my membership for the year. All right. So, so I'm like, rewind a bit. My mind is a fog, you guys. I apologize. Yes.
You were saying they were kind of unhappy.
Oh yeah, so they did know about the dining room going away, but then when I mentioned the living room, they're like, oh, because they do have friends over and stuff like that. But I'm like, friends over, $900. That's a big difference. Yes.
Do you see any real difference between just standard house hacking, basically renting out rooms, and a co-living model? Is there like a difference in your mind?
So, I mean, renting out the rooms and co-living are pretty much the same thing. The only difference I'm doing now is I'm taking away the common areas. So there's a guy, Sam Wiegert, or I don't know how to say his last name. He's really big on co-living. I don't know how much he charges for his course and all this stuff. And but he leaves his common areas, but he buys these really big houses and leaves the common areas. But this house is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It's 1,400 square feet. So there's not going to be any more common areas. But I noticed people when before we moved into that back unit and we lived in the house and we rented the rooms, no one came out of their room. Everyone stayed in their room. They just came out to eat, get their food. I mean, go to work. Yes.
Can I come with for a minute?
Yeah. Join me, please. Give my voice box a break.
Anyone recognize this living model? There's a model that was very popular in this country for years. This is making a comeback is what all it is. Anyone know what it is? 2 words.
Co-living.
No?
Boarding house.
Boarding house. You go to downtown Riverside, which is really far from here, because I looked at this particular one 2 years ago with one of you. There was a 14 unit for sale for $400,000 2 years ago with people in it. How could it be that? Oh, it's a boarding house. Oh, haven't seen those too often. Each room's rented, and it was built that way in around 1914. Okay? And there were, I think, 2 little efficiency units that had their own kitchen and bath, and everyone else shared a common bath and a common kitchen area. And this is just around the corner. And there's several, there's quite a few over there. Just not too often will you see them go up for sale. Anyone that does, Caitlin and I, some of us were at a ghost town a few weeks ago up by Death Valley. There's still the boarding house is still there that they would put a lot of miners or people in. I've actually stayed the night there. And it's basically 12 rooms with a bathroom or near an outhouse, which was a bathroom at the time. So you're seeing this entire thing. So those of us that are housing providers that are going, well, I wouldn't want to do that to my tenants. I get it. If you have a single family and you're like, I don't know if I want to add an ADU, totally your choice. However, there's such a housing crisis that they're having people getting inventive, and they're going and bringing this back. And I've yet to haven't heard people talk about it that way, but the boarding house is really back. That's what all the co-living is. It's costly to live. And so anyone ever heard of those pods? The sleeping pods? Company came in, there's several companies now trying to do that, although they're having problems with it, where you see it with code enforcement and stuff. But people in their house are putting 8 pods in a living dining room area and renting out the pods in places like San Francisco for $900 a month. Again, they're pods. Look it up.
Well, I mean, I'm just like, wow.
So
I thought at airport, I was thinking a sleeping pod at an airport or something like that.
Actually, it looks like a big dog crate that people climb in and sleep in. And Richard went to Hong Kong years ago, and what was the size of the place that was like an apartment? It was the size of a shoebox. Rich. But Pasadena just built something like a 90 unit, I forget the number of units, like 100, 200 units that were 250 square feet. That's here now, it's coming. You're either gonna be on the beginning forefront of it, or you can adopt it where it works for you, or just watch a lot of us do this, or at some level. I just want to share that, to keep an eye out and think boarding house, because that's what's done in every city in America had a boarding house, or 50 of them, okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you get an idea how much is to get a permit, like to convert a garage to a living space?
You're talking about ADU questions. She can ask. She can. Richard's doing this
Sylvia.
now. So let them do it. Sylvia can. There's several that can do that better.
How much does it cost to get permits to convert a garage to an ADU?
Yeah, the permits
Or
themselves are usually not
the
that much.
permits for your build?
Is there any permits allowed?
Yes.
Yeah.
The ADU laws. Yeah, it could be
I didn't
a couple
convert
$1,000.
I didn't convert a garage, but it's like $4,000 total because I did two units, so two.
Oh, okay.
It's under the ADU rules. There's a lot of choices there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, looking at these houses and the like we live out near Beaumont, and they're in the $400,000 to $500,000 range. And when I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I at least want something with a garage, detached garage, or a yard where I could add. So I'm thinking like forward, or like when Andrew and I bought the house we're in right now, it's 2 houses on 5 acres. I'm like, I'm not ready for it right now, but I am going to split those lots and then build and do all that with this in mind, and maybe do more of like what Evan was saying, but building like, say a 5-bedroom, 5-bath house, but where each one is like a master or something like that. I'm still playing with that idea. It's just in my head right now. Yes.
Another friend of mine, he and his dad, they both run modern day boarding houses out in San Bernardino. I think he has like 100 beds, and his dad has like 150 or 200 beds.
And when you
San
say
Bernardino.
beds, it's because it's like 2 beds per room,
Yeah,
right?
two, 3, 4, whatever
Yeah.
per room. So,
Yeah, so, and then another guy I was talking to, I thought he was going to come back tonight, I was going to have him tell you guys about it, but he also has one where he's doing the co-living, but it's through San Bernardino County, and they have like a homelessness program. I forget what he called it, that's why I was hoping he was going to be here. But they rent by the bed, and it's 2 beds per room at $700 each, and I was like, huh. You know, I'm interested in that, and so he's going to send me the info on that. So I was like, there's just a lot of ways to invest in California, and for those of you that were here when Rich made the case of why to invest in California and not out of state, there's just so many ways to do it, and it's just nice to own locally. So, yes, Carl. Oh, yeah, that's right.
So Elon Musk just released that he's putting out a Tesla house between $10,000 and $15,000. That's in the last week. So he's kind of a visionary that is eccentric, but he's.
Yeah, is it kind of like a mobile, like on wheels, like tiny home?
It's not mobile, it's just put there.
It's like a boxable house.
Is it what?
It's like a boxable house where you like.
A boxable.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I have seen a lot of those that they're like, oh, it folds up and you just unfold it, and then you just have to plumb it and add electricity and stuff. But I haven't done that yet. Yes, Eric.
In Europe, you see a lot of containers, ocean containers, and they
Oh, yeah.
remodel them to, stack them up.
Yeah, the storage containers. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's like just a lot of ways that you could invest in, and like I said, Andrew and I, we bought it as our primary, 3.5% down, and then we rented the rooms. You live in there for a year, and then you just go do it again. Or, yeah, Jared's nodding, thank you. I was like, come for it, yeah. Yes, Mary?
Is it legal in San Bernardino to cut down an old oak, it's not oak, walnut tree? So we can build an ADU in
I
there?
don't know. I know oak trees, you cannot cut them down. Andrew, you know anything about walnut trees?
Walnut trees, I think you can't cut it down.
Yeah.
You could?
I think there's probably someone, like an arborist or something that you could,
The city has a protected tree list. You can just call
yeah,
it.
there you go. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, okay.
Copper nails.
Huh?
Copper nails.
Copper nails.
nails. They'll die.
Okay, I don't know it. Sometimes, does anyone know the riddle? I can't guess the answer.
Copper nails will
Oh,
kill
thank
a
you.
tree.
Copper? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Adam, for translating. He's speaking English, but I don't understand. So, any other questions before? Oh, yes.
Do you happen to know how much it would cost to build an ADU from scratch?
Sylvia, how much does it cost to build an ADU from scratch?
It depends on the quality of finishes that you want, but it can go anywhere from 180 to 275, 300 per square feet.
For a detached?
For a detached, yeah. Like 200
And
per square foot.
yeah, and we recently found out when we were on the cruise that if you build a ground up ADU, you could also add an attached junior ADU to that ADU. So you could get 2 units.
Hey,
Right?
Farrah.
Did I say that right?
Are you in contact with Jared from the cruise?
I actually have not, but other
somebody's not
people have. So, but if we don't have any more questions, I just want to talk to you guys about one other thing, because kind of what I was saying, how Andrew and I bought our primary, and then we moved and we got another primary. Mr. John Schaub will be here in June, and his like, I don't want to say motto, but his whole thing is building wealth one house at a time. If you want to go on Amazon and look at his book, it's great. I don't think we have any copies in the library right now, right? Yeah.
I gave away.
So, but he's going to be here in June, and I've only heard him speak when he's with someone else. So the last time I heard him speak in California was, I think, Andy, we were there in 2019 when it was him and Pete, and they did the.
Is that in San Francisco?
No, it was Santa Ana.
Okay.
Anyway, so and then he's only co-taught. I've never heard him speak just him. He's very easy to understand, and his voice sounds way better than mine, especially tonight. So he has that like radio talk show like voice. So he's amazing. And if you are a member, you get $135 off. So, I mean, that right there pays for, quite a few months of your membership just by the savings there. And did you want me to add anything else about John? Oh, yeah, because the whole point of me saying that he's here in California is he lives in Florida, and the times that people need to go see him, you're spending, $500, $600, $700 on a flight, plus your hotel, plus food, and he's going to be here in Riverside at the event center, and you won't have to do it, just, driving down here. So, and we'll have we have on Saturday? Saturday. So for attendees, we'll have a networking event that Saturday night. So you could get more, and John will be hanging out too.
It's basically a truck rolling thing with the
Yeah, yeah.
Exclusive.
but only for people that are coming.
Yeah, so attendees. Yep. Yeah. So that's my whole thing. Any last questions before I call it? All right. Well, thank you all for coming. I am sorry I finished early, but you guys can go home early. And then that's my info. So if you want, you could scan that code and we can connect. Thank you all so much and bearing with me. I went through it faster tonight because all this. So all I can talk, but tonight I don't feel like it. So thank you.